Okay, we are about to roast 3 agency funnels all the way from 10K to 100K. I have Cam England here. What's the most impressive thing about you and your agency?
So for context, we have 2 different agencies. Both of them combined do around like 500, 600 grand a month. So when it comes to operations, fulfillment, acquisition, and what we're talking about today, offer positioning on cold traffic, I'd say I'm pretty damn good at that stuff. So I'm excited to see what we can tear apart and what problems we can find.
Yeah, I'd say you're okay. And I've done 600 lead gen funnels, worked for billion-dollar brands and have a 7-figure agency while I traveled the world full time. So should we roast some funnels?
Let's rock and roll.
All right, let's start with this one. This is for a Meta Ads Plus call center for ceramic coating shops on a commission basis. This guy is doing 1 to 10K per month. And I think there's a good disclaimer when we're roasting people's funnels that we're doing it out of love.
Absolutely, yeah. And
to help you make more money.
Yeah, and everyone that submitted this as well, they were very clear, because I know some of them like this.
This guy, I actually think I know him. Maybe he came from my Instagram or something.
I told him, I was like, look, we are going to tear this shit apart, to be frank with you. And he's completely aware of that, and I think it's the best way of doing it.
Yeah. Feedback is my love language. All right. Sir, Mr. England, walk us through the ads. What do you think?
I think the first thing is when it's pretty obvious this guy's running like a typical social media marketing agency serving local lead gen, which on paper is probably one of the hardest offers to differentiate when you're doing the exact same thing as everyone else. Like he's, just by looking at the ads here, he's trying to trump the fact that he just does Facebook ads and call center with just having a pay on results offer, which again, like the better the offer, usually the more lead flow you're going to get. But the problem with that is usually the less qualified they are, especially in a market like car detailing, where usually the average business in that market isn't really making a lot of money anyway. If we look at the ads, I'll just zoom in on one of the image ads here. It says, I'm looking for established detailing business owners who want more book jobs with zero risk and no monthly retainer. I think overall, the good thing about his offer is that he can kind of get away with having mediocre
ads because his offer is so good. It's like you only pay
when you get results. Whether or not that's actually true, when he gets on a sales call, who knows? And he might have a constraint in the funnel like the show rate or the close rate piece. But on the image ad side, I think it's very self-explanatory. He's literally just leaning on, here's what we do in comparison to everyone else. I don't really have any negative feedback on the image ads specifically because he's literally just focusing on the offer, which is what you should do if you've got an offer like this.
Yes, and especially if you're in that like 10 to, what is he in? Like 1 to 10K.
He's like the 1 to 10K a month range.
You got to just get case studies right now and you do that on a really strong offer. When we start to look at the other guys doing the 50K, 100K, that's when we'll start to talk about the differentiation. I also imagine he's on a pretty low ad spend.
100%.
Yeah.
He must be on, and I can play a video ad here in a moment. He must be on it on the low end, probably like
$50 to $100 a day maximum.
Yeah.
Just based on like the assumptions of how long he's been running the ads, and it says low impression count.
Anyway, so I can assume that the ad spend is very low. I'll play one of the video ads here. I know you can't fully see it, but you'll be able to hear it.
Crank the music for me.
Answering endless price shop. Are you tired of chasing leads, answering endless price shoppers, dealing with no-shows? I know what it's like to deal with customers who want full pay correction on a budget. The problem isn't your detailing skills. The problem is you're relying on word of mouth, or worse, an agency that just sends you garbage leads. You need a system that actually puts deposit pay jobs on your calendar. That's exactly what we build. We handle everything from A to Z. We create premium videos that attract high-end customers. We send them to custom landing pages that show your packages and prices up front, filtering out any tire kickers. And then our team actually calls the leads for you. We have is your dedicated front desk. We call them within 5 minutes, answer their questions, close the sale, and take the deposit. You don't have to make a single sales call. You just do the work you're best at. No long-term contracts, just a performance-based system that adds $20,000 to $30,000 a month to your shop. We do ship and limit this to 1 shop per area to protect our partners. So click below right now to check if your city's still open.
Pull the stick out.
I think that number one, even just like the voice, I don't love. But I'm not going to...
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Shut up. Well, so in sync. But I'm not going to... I also know there's levels to the game, so I don't try to overwhelm the guys doing 1 to 10K. It's like just book fucking calls and close deals. But I think it's also good to think about this because when he makes 100K, you want to understand these. And so just listening to the script, it sounds like every other agency, right? But what I also find is everyone talks like a marketer. Like these ceramic coat guys, I would just pull out a fucking iPhone in a ceramic shop and be like, yo, how annoying are fucking agencies like with all their marketing bullshit. Like here's me, I'm in this like ceramic shop. I helped this guy do this thing. Like I in the background, like how good was our marketing? Yeah, bro, it was good. Like total like no BS stuff. And sometimes, and I've done this so many times, I like study like Todd Brown and Russell Brunson and Eddie or all of these like marketing people. And then I just sound like a marketer trying to impress other marketers. So that's probably my biggest thing on that script is it just sounds like every other agency.
I completely agree. I think like on a micro level, I don't think it seems like he's using a UGC creator because the face in the ad and the face on the Facebook profile is different. I just don't think this UGC creator was that good. I think when you're looking at grading if a UGC creator is going to be good, it's not just like how they look and if they look like the ICP or it's somebody that ICP would potentially be attracted to. I know it sounds a bit weird, but we find that like in remodeling, you have an attractive woman and she's got some cleavage out.
Blonde Australians. I've tested it.
Yeah. But like his energy and his tonality is kind of off.
It's off.
Yeah. But on a macro level, I completely agree. I think now with everybody doing this, it's like as the market zigs, you've got to zag. We found that some of our best performing ads, it's annoying. I just launched a new funnel for our ads and I spent a while figuring out like where I wanted to be and spent like $70 per ad to get edited to make them fancy. And the ad that's performing is me on my roof with a chainsaw in the background, like there's construction going on. And I've just got my offer on a notes page and I'm just like screen sharing, like, yo, if you want all this stuff here, I know you've probably tried this, they're all kind of shit. I get that. Just like click the button below. And it's completely setting aside all the stereotypical like, oh, be a marketer, position it correctly. I'm just like, here's what we do. I know you're tired of this. Click the button below. And for some reason, it's working way better than anything else.
Yes. We have static stripping at the moment, which is really annoying because we put so much effort into the videos. These bloody statics, I can show you later. But I think that's the thing, right, is I think when a lot of marketers and agency owners are getting to do their own marketing, you have the curse of knowledge. It is really hard because like sometimes people make fun of agency owners where it's like, oh, you can't do your own marketing, you big dummy.
Yeah.
But it's also like a little bit different to doing ceramic or doing e-commerce or whatever, like when you're doing more high ticket sales. But I think a lot of them don't get in the right energy. I'd be interested to know your thought, but the right energy before doing it, and they don't make it fun and they're not making it exciting, and that doesn't translate through the screen. So one of the markets we were testing was like high ticket B2B finance. And so do you remember that? Oh, look, I don't know if you watch the internet, you're too busy making money, but it's like, I'm looking for a man in finance.
I've seen that, of course.
Yeah. So like we did that ad and that like crushed. And it was like, and I had like DMs being like, hey, I'm not 6'5", but should I still apply? And I was like, if you got fucking money, man, let's get on a call, no worries. So it's like having like fun and remembering that marketing's an art and a science. And I think like a lot of people sometimes when they get into the agency space, they get so obsessed with making money. I know I did in some of my years, like, oh, I've got to be like Cam, I've got to be doing 500-700K. Like, marketing's fun, guys. Like, make it fun and it translates into what you're doing as well. Yeah,
I completely agree. And just to finish up on the ad piece, I think overall, like, it's not bad. And I get why he's running these ads because it's what everybody else does. It's like, oh, I need to have an amazing offer because he's probably on a really low budget. And when you have a low budget, you're trying to get as much flow in as humanly possible. So I can assume when we look at the funnel, he's got very minimal qualification, probably doesn't have a VSL, and he's just trying to get as many at-bats as possible. But I think once you get to like that 20, 30K a month range and you have a little bit more wiggle room, it makes way more sense instead of relying just on like a crazy offer you know you're going to have to bait and switch people on.
Yes.
It's better to have a unique positioning in the way that not just how the offer's presented, but how you present yourself in the ads. It could just be like, look, I know you're tired of all this bullshit with people giving you this guarantee, that guarantee. That worked really well for us. Where we just had the complete opposite of like, we charge $5,000 a month. We don't have a guarantee. And here's why.
And we just shit on everybody else. And that works better than having a crazy guarantee in the first place.
Yeah, because what often happens is when you use that kind of bait and then everyone's like, oh, all of the leads I get are price shoppers. Yeah. Because that's the fucking ads you're running. Like, that's what you're going to pull in. But I also want to move on and say levels to the game. When you're at 1 to 10K, run a crazy offer, work hard, get your service cranking, get really good case studies, and then you can like evolve the way you do your marketing as well. So
agreed.
No big overhauls needed, just get them case studies. Let's move into the landing page, my favorite topic ever. What do you think of the headline and the above the fold?
Book ceramic and
PPF jobs on your account without chasing a single lead. I don't think it's specific enough to be
completely frank. I mean, yeah, it kind of talks about what problem they're going to help solve, but I don't think it's extra specific. Like, I usually find that whenever I'm launching a new offer, there's the 3 S's of an offer: specific person, specific problem, specific way. And I like to articulate that on the landing page to the best of my ability. Besides that, I mean, I'm noticing that he does have some testimonials, which I was surprised at. I would have liked to see that in his ads somewhere. Weaving in some sort of quote or like a visual for 3 to 5 seconds of a client saying, holy shit, I mean, if a client made $22,000 in 80 days, can you get him saying that in the ad?
To add some social proof. But that's my 2 cents on this. I think it's a pretty standard and basic funnel. There's not really any, again, unique positioning.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. And it's like, sales doesn't start on the call, right? The sales starts in the marketing, and each of these touch points are an opportunity for us to start pre-framing someone. And so we forget that we're not the only one running ads, and we get like this like little time, like it's like, oh, we're running ads. It's like, I looked at all the submissions that you got for these breakdowns. Everyone looked the same. And I was like, I'm just going to split it by revenue levels because everybody's funnel's really similar. And so you have to remember, okay, like how are we going to stand out and how do we like sound different? I think that's like will be the biggest takeaway from today is like that differentiation. And we can talk about that when we get into the 50 to 100, 50K, 100K. Going down the page, and just so like people here are clear, I would say we have an above the fold, right? And especially, I should have got these on mobile, but especially on mobile, what's it going to be? And what sort of things are we actually talking about? So for detailing shops doing 15K plus per month, that's a good qualifier at least, so you stop those people coming in. Booked ceramic and PPF jobs on your calendar. What I would like to see probably is like, I don't know, maybe like some cool ceramic jobs that people have got, because these guys are like real craftsmen. That's another thing you could like, this guy just closed this job, this guy just closed this job. But the biggest thing will just be proof. There's not enough proof. And because there's no VSL and then there's no copy, we wouldn't be like pre-educating and pre-framing the lead beforehand. So I would imagine that you'd be bringing in leads, because basically all you've made is a more complex Facebook lead form here. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah, that's all it is, because this, in terms of scroll rate, most people wouldn't scroll down further than like those USPs, and then what you'd want to do is measure the click rate on that button and see how many people are even watching it. So you potentially would be better with a short VSL above the fold, and then having the form underneath. But you got to test it. Do you use Microsoft Clarity? Yes. Yeah. You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was literally just about to mention that as well. Oh my gosh, stop it. It's a shame that it's a free tool and we can't get affiliate links. I know, right? Yeah. But I think with the headline overall, again, I think if it was a little bit more specific in terms of what kind of jobs you're going to get them, and then as well what the average is. I know it's kind of hard when you're first starting out, but another way of doing this is you're in a market where there's hundreds of agencies. You can also just look at what other people are doing. I use a tool like, Get Victor or Claude, and I'll get it to go and scan people in my market and find out where
there is a gap in terms of the positioning. I do that before I launch any offer. So for example, like instead of get booked ceramic and PPF jobs, like generate an additional 15 to 25 financially qualified PPF jobs worth between X and Y, or something along those lines, being a little bit more specific. Because right now it's like, well, ceramic and PPF jobs sound great, but I'm sure the price range on those jobs is crazy. There might be like an $100 job. There might be a $10,000 job. You got to ask yourself, what do they actually want? I'm sure a lot of them would rather have one $10,000 PPF job than have $100 ceramic jobs. So be ultra specific with what they want, because they might look at this and go, oh, well, I'm going to pay per job and I'm getting like ceramic and PPF jobs, but they're only giving me $200 as an example. Yeah. Without chasing a single lead is a little bit generic. Yeah. And then the other thing you could test would be, we run the ads. Our team calls and books the jobs. You only pay when one lands on your calendar. No retainers or tie kickers. Maybe trying it in bullets. And if there's any other buyer decision, question those as well. Anything else on the landing page? The final thing I'd say is we've been testing a bunch of different form builders. So we tried ROAS form, Type form, Go High Level. We found ROAS form, which is actually quite a small company, was the best in terms of conversion rate, because the calendar is embedded directly in the page. It's not like you're having to use Calendly and Typeform. It's ROAS form is it's one standalone product that is the form and the calendar, and you can split test the design, the style, the format of the questions. The drop-off tracking is way better than Typeform, so small thing. And then the other final thing is maybe giving them a strong reason to apply. For example, for us, when we were scaling up a done-for-you AI offer that we were running, one thing that we had on the opt-in form is like, click the button to apply and also receive a free AI ROI audit. With Claude, things like this are very, very easy to put together now. Yes. And that can also lead into increasing show rate, because you can present that to them on the call. They don't even need to get it once they opt in. Yeah. But yeah, besides that. That would be nice. Other additional feedback. Agreed. Have you tried iClosed? Yes. Yeah. A little bit. Not fully, to be honest. Yeah. Okay. No further questions. Cool. Let's move to the calendar page. So what happens is I went through a few questions. I'll talk more about like form questions and flow, and we'll dive into that on the next funnels. But now we're on the booking page. So someone's come through, we'll assume that they've been qualified. And now it says you are qualified. Pick your time.
Let's see if it's a fit for your business. Pick a time that works for you. Booked jobs, game plan, ceramic coating engine. I'll start on this. I think it's good that there's not too many slots open in advance. I've seen that on agency funnels. I've ordered it, even for guys doing over 100K. And it's every single day.
Open, it's ridiculous.
And I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I think that looks good. I think that the headline could be better. Basically, with like a booking page, I just want it to be simple. There's one job. Its only job is to book the call.
Yeah.
And usually, and this is kind of back to your point, if you had a stronger offer, or what is the offer? I'll talk about this soon, but I think of it as consultation versus ready now offer. And you want to remind them, what is the offer? So pick your time. Let's see. They're going to already forget. Let's see if what fits my business. Like they've literally, I kid you not, they've already forgotten. And then what do you think of the longer page? Like stuff underneath the calendar.
I don't even think it's necessary. I mean, like overall, my feedback would be not even having a schedule page. My feedback would be using a tool like ROAS Form and just embedding it, because if somebody's got bad internet, they're on a Samsung, God forbid, then chances are the loading time of going from one page to the next and then the GHL counter loading time, they're both slow.
Yeah.
So ideally, it's all in one. Not to mention as well, the problem with this, unless he's got sticky contact on, which more than likely most people don't, is they're going to select a time and then they're going to have to re-input the same information again, which is just, again, unnecessary friction. It decreases lead to booking rate. But yeah, I agree with the headline. I think just reminding them of the offer, book your call to see if we can get you outcome without thing you don't like or something along those lines.
Yep, exactly. And then the only other thing I do is I'm like, sometimes if time zones are an issue, you can be like, make sure you choose the right time zone, because sometimes people, even in America, there's so many time zones. And you can also say like, only book a call if you're serious about this. For us, we like to see an over 80% booking rate. And I'll say that on my socials and people are like, how are you getting a booking rate of over 80%? I'm embarrassed. It should be 100%. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, if you're not getting people to book, there's only like a few things that are going to be wrong. It's usually your UX, or you don't have the right times open, or your offer. Sucks. But I would get rid of that, what happens on the call. I would get rid of all of that stuff under the calendar, update that headline to have the what's in it for me. And I think that would improve this rate. And if this page is less than 80%, implement those things. If it's over 80, don't fuck around with it. That would be my thing. And guess what? You were right. It doesn't pre-fill. It didn't bring across my name and stuff. That was my biggest thing, because that's a huge drop-off. We do that in our GHL funnels, because you can pull in all of that data and no one has to refill it unless you're using one of those tools. But that's the next screen, is all of that information didn't come across.
Yeah, which again,
it's just like an unnecessary friction point. It means that his lead to booking rate is probably going to be, I could almost guarantee it's sub 70%. I can guarantee it. Just based on the call framing. How he's framing it isn't sexy enough. Like, what's in it for me? You've got to remind them on every page of the funnel at every moment you can, every email, every text, every setting call. And then again, just the friction of having to fill out the same information they've already filled out. People are going to drop off.
Yep, exactly. And then we have the thank you page and the emails. So the thank you page, we have call confirmed. Your Zenith ceramic coating engine demo is booked. Straight away, my beef with that is like we've changed the offer name a few times throughout the funnel. So on the scheduling page, we've got ceramic coating engine, but it's like kind of different language throughout the funnel, I think. And the ceramic coating engine, it's in the name, but not in the headline.
Yeah.
And demo, So do these 3 steps so we can spend the call on your numbers, not basic questions. Miss them and we'll offer your spot to another detailer. Then it's got the 3 steps. I think we're on the same page where we both like to have a video above the fold.
100%.
Yeah.
I think like from what I've observed now is just less is more.
Yeah.
And if you just give them like the rule of one, the one thing to do, like wait, your call is requested, just watch the video below to make sure that you understand exactly what the next steps are. And it's like they have one thing to do. And in that video, you might want to give them additional steps. Like in that video, we'll go real quick. Go ahead and just add this to your calendar because Google went through some updates recently.
We don't want your spot to get automatically cancelled. We want to make sure we can lock this in. But having it all in one page, just going, oh, fuck this. I don't want to do all these 3 or 4 steps. It's too much work.
Yeah, exactly. And what a lot of people forget now is like they get the lead and then they're like, oh, my show up rate. But there's this magical time between when they book and when they show up called the confirmation step. And so I think most people get it, but it's like, how do you get the confirmation? And even, we'll talk about this in a second, like getting your setters. What should your setters do in this time? What should be like the key touch points that you have throughout the funnel? Now, to be fair, I might not given this bloke enough time to send his email before the email came out, but I didn't get it. And have you seen this on many funnels in Gmail, this invitation from an unknown sender? Because I see that happening on a lot of funnels through the Gmail.
Invitation from an unknown sender. I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, something to look into because not
Yeah.
good. Anyway, so that was just an email invite. I'm not sure if he sent out another email. The other ones, we've got some emails to hook
Right,
into.
so the nurture is non-existent, which is...
Potentially.
is
I don't
poor
want to
from
throw him
Ruben
under the
here.
bus just in case.
He's already under the bus at this point.
he's squished. But do you know, like, overall, for someone doing 1 to 10K, I would say you're already 9,000 steps ahead of everybody else. You're doing it. And this is good because you have a good baseline to build upon. If I could only choose one thing in this whole funnel to, like, really dial in, it would probably be the offer.
Yeah.
Like, because when you're this small, you need to be really hardcore on your offer. And that's what I would do. And then I would make it congruent throughout. And then with the offer, making sure it's going to be like, they feel like they're going to get something out of going to the call. So they actually want to show up.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Like, what's in it for me? How will I come out better off this call than when I went in? I think that would be my big thing. What's yours?
I completely agree. I think the main thing is funnel congruency. Like lack of congruency kills conversion. And you know, what's happening on the ads versus the landing page, the schedule page, the thank you page. There's just a little bit of a lack of congruence in the naming, the positioning, what's in it for them. I think overall, if you can tighten those things up, in terms of like genuinely just taking a few hours and asking like, how can I position this as different? Go in and get Claude to scan through the ads library and see what people are doing, what people aren't doing. And maybe if he ran a test of some ads where instead of just being like, hey, we only pay per job, it was more along the lines of like, oh, pay per job, I guarantee you 300 clients in 7 days, I'll give you my left kidney. And he was like mimicking them in a way. You work.
Look, I'll be frank with you. You work with all these agencies. You know the guarantees are never actually how they look.
Yeah.
Here's exactly what we do. Here's what we charge. Click the button below. I can almost guarantee his cost per call would be higher, but his cost per acquisition and his client quality would probably be way better than it is right now.
And we'll move into the next funnel, but it's funny you say that because literally every client that works with us, any agency they come from, and this goes for these agency funnels, they're not tracking down to the CAC. So even the people I coach in my program, they're like, I gotta get my cost per lead cheaper. I'm like, do you? Let's have a little look-sees. Because like you don't want leads, you want buyers. And actually we have to think about utilization rate. So when we're running our ads and if we're still doing founder-led sales, I don't want everyone booking in my calendar. I don't want you to flood my calendar with 100 leads. I want the right kind of leads. And the only way you can do that is if you're tracking your CAC and then looking at what angles and messaging are working, which can be hard if you've got a low ad spend. But while I agree, you can you can do stuff with Claude, I do think it's important for this guy and all guys to get like obsessed in their heart and soul with their market. You know, like read everything on Reddit, read every testimonial because like you do have a supercomputer in your brain and then part of the marketing is the art and the soul and the empathy. And I just see so many people trying to outsource it and it's like, no, like the energy does come through in the marketing and people can feel it and you can't always articulate it, but you can feel bad marketing versus good marketing.
I completely agree.
Awesome. We're going to have to find something we don't agree on.
Yeah. I know. We'll find it in the next funnel. That's the goal.
All right. Right. Funnel number 2. Come on down. Get more cases. We help law firms generate leads and appointments via meta ads, and they are in the 10 to 50K a month
I
range.
actually know this guy. I think last month he did around 40K a month, so that's where he's at now.
Amazing. Good work. And I've got the ad library up. You've got the ad library up. Do you reckon these chicks are AI or real people?
AI. Let's play it and see.
Yeah.
Someone just starting out. If you run an estate planning
It's
firm
definitely AI.
doing over $20,000 a month and you want to sign more cases, here's my offer. 30 qualified cases in 30 days, or you don't pay. If that's you, click the link below and book a call. Step 1, we run your meta ads. Step 2, we screen every prospect on their assets and whether they can actually afford your retainer. So the only people you end up talking to are ready to sign. Don't just take my word for it. Lion Turner generated $400,000
Okay, well, at least you put some social proof.
Got a 781% ROI.
Quick pause here though. What I really like to see is like the way I see it is in a funnel in ads. There's like different trust levels.
Yeah.
The highest degree of trust is like you literally in person with the client and them showing you their business and how full their med spa is or their law firm is, as an example. But here, for example, him saying we got them this result and this result is nowhere as high on the trust spectrum as if
The client said it on a call with them and showed it. So really, if he's had a video testimonial with this client, which I assume he has, if he's got a result like this, he should be just playing what they said.
Yeah.
Because it's far higher on the trust spectrum.
Agreed.
But yeah, let me finish this.
And generated $70,000 in cases in just 3 months. And this firm over here put $2,000 into the system and got $45,000 back out. So if you want 30 qualified cases in the next 30 days, click the link below and book a call.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
I have lots. So first of all, because I've worked with agency owners when they do target lawyers. And what I find is lawyers are an interesting beast of a type of client. And number one, I wouldn't be using characters that look like I looked at the ad library, like they're not like dressed up enough. They don't look polished enough. Because lawyers, it's like whales mate with whales. They wanna play with big dogs. Game sees game. I would be like, these look like UGC ecom. Like I'm just looking at the screenshot, but there's the older woman in the blue top. Like some of these, there's the woman with the mug. They don't look like, they're not like harboring authority. Like think of like suits and stuff, right? Like that's the vibe we want with our character. And so it's something that we can think about when we're creating our ads. There's the messenger. So like who is saying the message? There's the message and there's the receiver. And the receiver is going to hear this in their own context. So a ceramic guy with a shop doing 50K has context and values and like things that he thinks about. The lawyer has the same thing. So we have to think about those things. So with that, when I've done these before with other agencies or when I've done like my own campaigns, I always think for lawyers, what's in it for me? Like what do they want? And it was funny, I was working with a couple out of that mastermind that we're in, and they had this like, we'll get to 20 appointments. And I was like, no one gives a shit. I was like, give me your top testimonials. And all the testimonials said stuff like people were coming up to me at my kids' school and telling me they'd seen me on the ads. And I was like, that's what they want. They think they want like to book appointments and stuff. Like, yeah, maybe, but a lot of them it's ego driven. That's why they spend all of those money on billboards. That's why they spend all of those money on park benches. That's why they spend all of that money on other stuff. Because it's like they want their face everywhere. So like, yes, we book you appointments, but we had to restructure their system to be about brand, booking appointments and nurturing or whatever. And it's like, we blow your brand up. We put you everywhere so that you're the number one, that you become number one, right? Because that's actually what they're buying in that instance. So I think I'll like hand you the talking stick, get your stick ready. But I think it's more authority, game sees game, like messenger, look good. I think it is dog whistle language, sounding like polished. What words do they use? Because they use like weird lawyer words. And it's like, like that dog whistle language and what's in it for me? Like what's truly their dream outcome? What are they really buying? Yeah. That would be my breakdown.
I completely agree. We found this with MedSpa as well, who I would say as well, like a lot of them they're not like, they didn't get into MedSpa to be like a CEO a lot of the time. Yeah. They did it to be like very well known in their
space, to have a personal brand, to feed their ego, which is like there's like one of the, what's he called? Tony Robbins, like 7 human needs or something like that.
I love how you forgot Tony Robbins' name. Like,
external import. I can't believe, I was thinking David Goggins for a minute. I'm like, what? But I agree. We actually found that in that market, when we went from having like an offer like this, which was like 30 qualified cases in 30 days, 30K in revenue in 30 days.
To, we'll make you the number one med spa in your area. We'll make you a personal authority in your area. Or like, we'll build you a patient trust flywheel. So instead of us focusing on what everybody else is focusing on, the revenue, because at a certain point they just get so desensitized to seeing these crazy claims. You focus on the thing that they actually want, that they kind of know, but is not as desensitizing as them hearing the same thing 100 times over. I can see as well, he does have some ads here at the very bottom that are a man in a suit. I'm curious to see what these look like.
Click the attorney. I'll get you 30 qualified cases in the next 30 days where you don't pay me anything. So that sounds good? Click the link below and book a call. Here's how it works. Step 1, you run your med ads. Step 2, you screen every lead before they...
Yeah, I mean, like, it's extremely direct offer. I can almost guarantee that he's getting a lot of people that are just coming in and going like, yeah, what's the offer? What's the price?
And don't really care about anything else. They just care about like, what do I get? What's the price? And a lot of them are going to be very unqualified. Usually when you just lead with an offer that leads to an outcome, you're going to get some sophisticated, like high-level clients here and there. We just find you way more likely to have more than 50% of leads coming in that are just completely unqualified and broke, because all they care about is, I just want to make more money. Sounds good to me. I don't care who was on the ad. I care about the offer.
Yeah, and a good way to think of it is, what do they want versus what do they need? And sometimes in these markets where they don't understand marketing as much, like you need to bring them in with what they want, which is get your face blown up and you know you can help them. It's like, actually, you got to make money. That's kind of the game of business, but I'll show you that on the back end. So what I'm excited to see is some ad diversity, different characters. Like this is good. We see different characters It's the same copy, it looks like. I'd like to see the copy being tested.
Yeah.
And I would like to see a different, because this guy's doing 40K now. He's coming into this sophistication level, going from that like 40K to 100K, where you need to start testing different levels of awareness. The different levels of awareness and the different sub-niches underneath. So underneath like estate planning lawyer, then you're going to have these little sub-niches that are different, right? So it's like the ego-driven estate planning lawyer, the hormozy lover estate planning lawyer, like who understands marketing. Like you'll have these sub-niches and then you want to start like creating ads for those and seeing which audiences are going to bring you in more money. But I like the diversity.
Yeah, agreed. And then with the funnel,
Dun, dun, dun.
I would say overall, like the headline is pretty solid because it's just like, we guarantee you this or it's free. Our average firm adds this. So there's some degree of like indirect social proof there. And then he's doing exactly what he should be, where there is like a reason for them to fill out the form. Fill out the report below to see if we have your area available.
Yeah.
It's not as sexy of an incentive of like, fill out the report below to get your free attorney growth plan audit or something along those lines. But I think like to see if we have your area available to get your market research report can also work fairly well. And it's good to see that he's using ROAS form too. The only thing that I would say is I would change this design a little bit because what I'm noticing is I'm clicking on a button and it's not immediately going to the next question, which again is just unnecessary friction.
Exactly. Yeah, it should just go back and let them go backwards. In my opinion, I still think it commoditizes them. Like I still think that. So one thing about lawyers is they like to read shit and they're very detail orientated because they like you have to like so med spa different, home builder different, ceramic people different, lawyer different. They love reading shit. It's like literally their whole job, and they're very used to reading stuff and getting in the details. And so I would be interested to test doing even like a long form page with copy in this market in particular. That's what I did with the other agency, where we broke it out and we were like, this is what we do. This is how we're different. This is our system, FAQs, because they're used to reading. I probably wouldn't do that in ceramic. I'd do a quick video and show some cool cars. And like, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on this page? It needs proof. Like,
it definitely needs some social proof for sure.
Yeah.
I think besides that, nothing from me on that piece.
My thing, whenever I analyze any marketing, I looked at it through these lenses. Target market, do we have the target market's language on here, yes or no? Are we showing them that we understand them, that they're in this crappy before state, we're going to help them to get to here. Here's our vehicle. Here's what makes our vehicle different to drive you from here to here. Do we have the target market language? Do we have differentiation? Do we have messaging? Do we have authority? Do we have social proof and a strong offer? And then you can like kind of self-audit your own page. And so I'd be very interested to test this, even if we kept this as the control, with just like that infinite proof scroll underneath.
Yeah. I think especially in law, because their whole job is like making sure shit is as it sounds.
Yes, and disprove people's
Disproving
claims.
things. So like I think especially in law, you've got to be really articulate with explaining everything. So like when you go in and you explain how this works, you're going blue collar to a car detailing business or a tree removal business. You need to explain it as if you're explaining it to a 3-year-old. So we get the leads, we qualify them.
Yeah.
But with guys like this, they really want to see the whole thing. They want to understand exactly what's different. And again, it all comes down to each market has like an average level of sophistication. And you would argue that the average lawyer is going to be far more intelligent than the average car detailing business. So you've got to make sure that the funnel aligns with that as well in terms of the language they use.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, understanding their language, understanding how they buy. It's even like, the people in my coaching program, if they're going after e-com like managers, like in a $10 million e-com, $100 million e-com versus local. You are doing it very differently, but then they're kind of copying each other, and it's like you can't use the same sophistication, and they shop very differently. They buy very differently. Okay, so what happened was we've got the page. I went through the questions, and then it was an inline calendar page. So do you know what I was interested by that I've never seen, and I've genuinely launched over 1,000 funnels? This little high demand thing. Is this a thing on this platform?
I put this guy on some serious game with this shit.
Yeah. Oh, you're like, I'm behind this.
This is all me. Yeah. This is ROAS form.
Yeah, this is
so
ROAS form.
This is what I like to see, because the only thing I will say is I don't think he's using the right funnel, like opt-in form design, because he needs to toggle on the function where it automatically rolls to the next question.
Yes.
That's the first thing I would say. But I like the fact that the calendar is embedded in the page. There's zero load time resistance because it's on the same page and the high demand thing, and he's doing the right things with only having a 3-day booking window as well, which is great.
Yep, very good. And yeah, nice and clean. I guess then with this form embedded, because it's on the page, if you did have a longer landing page, would it still be there then, right, on the calendar page?
I suppose so, yes, but I'm sure there's a way that after they opt in, it could be like a pop-up and like take up the screen.
Yeah.
The only small thing I would say is I would definitely add a little bit of a mini headline that just reinforces what they're booking for on that calendar function. So it says
Selected time here to book a call, but I know above that he could have a main headline that's like, great final step, book your law attorney growth call or whatever it may be, just reminding them of what they're booking for.
Yeah, and then the only, like, if you're going to just, like, add something, like, at least, like, a little testimonial showing, like, a little lawyer with a little quote or something, just to, like, besides, like, integrating a lot more proof, and I think you should try the longer page or the VSL, etc. I think that's a quick win, is just making it a bit more human. Like, adding a human face somewhere on here will work. Fill out the report below. Actually, I don't know about that. What about that line, fill out the report below?
I think it's a little bit generic, to be frank. Like, fill out the report below and see
ceramic, feels like ceramic car dealer vibes.
Yes. Yeah, I think, again, I feel like what would resonate better with law would be something along the lines of, like, fill out the quick 5-step application below and get your free attorney marketing growth. And to book your free marketing attorney growth call or something like that.
Yeah, I would call it a consultation, because that's how they shop. They'd be like, get your complimentary consultation and we'll show you how to do this. Done. Okay, that's that. I think that's good takeaways. To the thank you page. Technically, like, I need to start calling it a confirmation page because you should never say thank you. That's like the worst thing you can do because you shift frame and it's like, thank you for doing something for me. It's like, no, they've done something for themselves. And usually the first thing I want to do on a page is like congratulate them. I pull in their name, like congratulations name, you're one step closer to dream outcome. Wait, watch this short video or whatever. So why don't you talk us through, what do you think of the confirmation page?
I honestly think, like, obviously besides looking at the thank you page video, I think this is the best way to structure a thank you page in terms of the way it's structured. He's got, wait, watch this video, do this one thing. And then besides that, in that video, he's obviously going to explain, hey, just quickly add this to your calendar, and below that's what it shows. And then he's got additional information, like he's got the social proof there, and then he's got the breakout videos as well. So he's clearly took his sales call data, analysed the most common problems, questions, objections, and in that order, he's added those quick 2 to 3 minute breakout videos answering those. So on the thank you page, the only small piece of feedback I'd have is just adding the custom fields at the top. So like, wait, name, watch the short video below before tomorrow at 2 p.m. so your call doesn't get cancelled. So just pulling those fields in, but besides that, I don't have any feedback.
Yeah, and then just maybe that text yes to confirm is a little bit confusing. Like, because when I was doing it on my laptop, most of them will be on phone, so it's fine. And then it like wants to open up a thing, and it's like, oh, you could do that. What about like this versus having the add to calendar buttons? Or do you think because most of them would be on mobile, it's actually better to be SMS? Because you just want that commitment, right? Where they take an action to buy in and commit to the funnel.
Yeah. In my opinion, I don't really think it matters too much. I think either work. And again, I also think it depends on your ICP. I think an add to calendar button would be worse for car detailing or remodeling than a, hey, click this button to just text us.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them probably have no idea how to even use their Google Calendar. With lawyers, maybe it's the opposite. I would assume so.
Yeah. And then the only other little micro thing is I would force, so it's like a certain percentage of people will watch these videos below the fold, right? Whenever I do a video testimonial, and I like that he's like in his suit, like, or a blazer, like these things matter. That's great. I wish the other guy wasn't in a hoodie, but that's okay, lawman. Like, it's casual Friday. You do you. I would add a headline above them, like, we helped this person from this law firm achieve this, and I call it the force feeding. Force feed the results, just because not everyone's going to do it. Or even the other guy on that other funnel that we looked at, on his landing page, his thumbnail was made 22,000 in 80 days. Just, you want that force feeding of the consumption of the result.
Yeah, agreed.
Nice. Other than that, I think it looks good. And then, you've got emails to look at. One email.
Nice. Your call is not confirmed yet. Name, hey, appointment. Otherwise, I'll be forced to cancel your call. To be honest, with the we will be forced to cancel your call, I'm not a fan of that.
I don't like it.
Yeah, just for the reason that I just think it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
And the reality is, especially when you're going B2B, we found that there is so many people that just won't respond to anything, and then they will show to the call because they just operate on their Google Calendar.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of this because they might read it and be like, oh, fuck you then, and I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah.
I think absolutely recommending it, hey, just to make sure that you don't forget, you can click this button to add it to your calendar. I think besides that, though, the email is solid in terms of just confirming the call. Obviously, it looks like his pre-call video or page didn't work, which is definitely a problem.
Naughty. Yeah, this video was a 404. That's okay. We all make mistakes. Now fix it. Yeah, I don't like if you don't do this, I'm going to get you. I'm going to cancel your call. Although in one of my funnels for the coaching program, I have a tick box and it's like, you agree to show up to this call, and if you don't, I'm going to ship an old woman with a slipper to beat you to death, or I'm going to work with your number one competitor to put you out of business.
Yeah.
Whichever is more painful. Do you agree? Which is a bit more fun in the
I think something like that is great because it adds
Yeah.
humour into it as well.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would necessarily do that for lawyers because they're very buttoned up, but when I'm talking to other agency owners, and that's the thing, understanding the market and adding personality in because they remember it, right? And they find it funny and whatever. So, all right. What is your number one thing that you think needs to be worked on for this funnel?
I think overall it's going to be in the ads. And so number one, in the whole funnel and the ads, the messaging, the language needs to be more geared towards lawyers. That's the first thing. Second thing is the people in the ads. I like that there's diversification, but I think there can be diversification while also understanding that lawyers want people who are put together that speak their language.
Yeah.
So I think that can still mean there's men, there's women, but put them in a suit, make them dress nice, put them in the right background,
Yes.
make them speak clearly. I think that's missing right now. And then an additional test that I think would be worth running, these are just optimizations, but a test would be running ads with those things in mind, but without going for, hey, we're going to get you this and this. Instead, focusing on how you can help them become the number one law firm in their market and explaining in detail, genuinely, how you can do that. And it must make sense.
Yes.
I think that mechanism-based selling would get them a way better quality of lead, which again, might mean their CAC would go up, but their LTV might double, triple, because they get a way better client from it.
Yeah, definitely. And the way that you can put that into your scripting is we get this, and and we know the system works because, and whenever you say the word because, the human brain just switches off and assumes that whatever comes after that word is all correct. So you say this works because, and then you go into the system. We use this proprietary system that has step 1, step 2, step 3, and it gets results like this. So yeah, I won't build on the ads because I think there's more structuring to the media buying, but I want to talk about that in the next layer, starting to build more brand ads, video views, hot nurture, all of these things. So to build on what you said, I think it would be worth testing the longer form landing page and building in more education, more information into it, not to try and sell on the page, but to remember that your landing page is your digital salesperson, your digital appointment setter. And would I want my appointment setter to only say we guarantee you 30 plus qualified cases in 30 days or it's free? I'd be like, bitch, why did you only say that? That's not enough. Set a ring. So I think working on that.
Yeah.
Case closed.
Case closed.
Case closed. Moving on. All right. Next up on the chopping block, marketing paid ads across Meta and Google plus appointment setting for residential roofing and siding companies. What's a siding company?
I believe it's so he's just going after roofing companies. Siding, my assumption is it's maybe fencing and side walls and shit.
Okay.
I know this guy's named Nicholas, and I believe he's doing around 70 grand a month as of right now.
50 to 100K.
Yeah.
So let's look at the ads. How many we've got? We've got a few ads running, but it still depends on the budget, right? Whether it's actually enough ads. We've got some diversity in the copy, which I like to see. I'd be interested to know your opinion on the actual Meta ad copy when I let you have the talking stick back. And even the button testing and stuff. Because I think once you start to get to this level, that's when this sophistication comes in on the testing, the learn more versus apply now and all of these things. I like that there's a Drake meme and it looks like we're testing some different things out.
Yeah.
What do you want to put an ad on?
I like the diversification. I like the fact that he's got some meme style image ads that are running. And the key thing he's doing that nobody else was is there's congruency in the ad copy to the ad with most of them.
Yes.
He's not just running the same generic ad copy we'll do this and we'll do this or you don't pay.
Yes.
It's he's got an ad that's rip shared leads, rip door knocking, the ad copy and the ad are congruent. The headline, maybe you can do with some work, but there's congruency there, which is very, very important. As well as many faces. One thing I do like to see as well, if we scroll down to the bottom of the ads library, is I can see he's also running retargeting that focuses on people that have booked calls, that haven't booked calls, just overcoming objections, answering questions. And again, the ad copy is congruent. I can see one that's your service is expensive, maybe, but expensive compared to what? Yes. And then my assumption is the ad addresses that objection head on. So these people aren't coming on thinking like, oh, this is going to be cheap. They already see that more than likely before the call. So from like first glance, things look good.
It's interesting even to see these 3 different levels of agency owners and to look at the ad libraries. You could almost pick them out based on their sophistication, right? You would be able to pick like what revenue level they're at. It's very interesting. Do you want to play one of the ads?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's pick this one.
Doing over $100 grand. If your roofing company's doing over $100 grand a month, listen up. I'll put 100 booked appointments on your calendar in the next 90 days. And here's what nobody else will tell you. You pay per result. No appointments booked, you don't pay a single penny. The risk's on us. Want to see exactly how it works? Tap the link below. Your calendar's about to get a whole lot closer.
Okay, very short ad. One thing I will say I like
is that he looks like the ICP, which is great. He's an older man. He looks like he's in an office, which is great. It's obviously AI. This is very good AI that
it
I don't think
good.
It did, and it sounded good. Like the tonality was solid as well. Very offer heavy, but again, B2B, we honestly find that some of our best ads are that way. So I'm not I think it's solid. I probably wouldn't change anything about that ad specifically. That being said, you can only go so far with running those direct offer ads. So I'd be curious to see if we just play one more, which looks like a different style.
How's the results been on that pay-per-view? We have to get paid live.
3,300 total, and we made a couple $100,000. So everybody's looking to invest under $5 grand. Everybody's looking to invest under $5 grand to get over a couple $100,000 back. Yeah, it's from direction. $150 for that lead, and it's a $40-some thousand, almost $50,000 deal. I closed 9 out of 10.
It's a great testimonial.
They're already prepped and ready. They were sold on this.
Like a mashup, right?
They just bought. I ended up getting a brand new 2026 Ford Escape as a result of that. I've had obsessed girlfriends respond slower than you guys. Like you guys are incredible with that turnaround. If you advertise, we're home directed. You're going to get
how good? Got a chuckle.
I think that was a great ad.
That's awesome.
And that is an amazing testimonial. Like I was him, I would be abusing the shit out of that. I think there's so many ways he could twist that in his ads. Like he has the testimonial of like, we made this in this, which could be a hook. Number one, he can use that in the social proof of every other one of his ads as well. He's also got the part of like, I've had obsessed girlfriends respond faster than you guys. That could be a hook in a
retargeting piece of content before a call. He also said like, I've never had people this qualified walk into my office or something like that. It's like, if you're sick and tired of leads like this, this, and this, where you get a name, a phone, and an email from Angie's list and they're not actually qualified, here's exactly what we can do for you.
And then he can have that as an angle. So I think like pulling apart these testimonials and creating sub angles within them would be really great.
And that's the level of sophistication that you need to start having when you start to be making this much money and you're probably spending more money than the other guys, is there's more testing. And what we have to do is we have to find winners. So for us, we want to aim for like at least a 20% win rate. Those are our scales. But how do you find winners? And not many people are like thinking of it that way. So the way that you find winners is through good ideas. So how do you find good ideas? It's having these data feedback loops and knowing what to listen out for in your testimonials, your lead forms, your sales calls. I'm sure you've built some sick systems. One of the things that we've built is like little AI bot that like pulls all of this data in every week and builds us out a newsletter, looks at the winning stuff, tells us what to iterate, looks at all of the sales call data, looks at all of the lead form data, gives us like what angles it thinks it should be tested, writes up the scripts, and off we go. Like that. But do you know what I mean? Like the winning game now at this level is testing more ads, but you can only test more ads with good ideas. And like, so what you were saying, I just wanted to dig into it because your brain automatically is coming up with these ideas, right? Like one piece of content, like one line, and you've just made like 3 different ad angles for that to test now.
Yeah. I always say as well on the ad piece, that once you find a winner,
or you have a testimonial that's really good, that performs on cold traffic as well, most people think like, oh, I can only spend a certain amount on this ad, then it's going to die. But we find that most people leave so much juice left to squeeze, when the reality is you could have a different face say the same thing.
Yep.
You could have the hook change with the body and vice versa. Like there's so many different ways to utilize a winning ad for a very long time. Yes. We've had some ads that we've literally ran for like a year and we've repurposed like 50 times. Because if something works, I just want to ride that wave. because it can be difficult to find a winner. I mean, a
Crazy outlier. And if you find that crazy outlier, you've got to rinse it for all you've got.
Yeah, let's unpack iterations on ad then, because what I find is one, people don't test enough ads, and two, when they do find a winner, they don't even have like parameters to identify winners, and then they don't have a system for iterating on winners. So what we even do is we will look back at like past winners from 3 months ago and just relaunch them.
Yeah.
Low-lying fruit. If we have a winning static, we'll put a real person or an AI UGC talking over the top of the static. We'll animate the image on the static. So now it's a video ad instead of just that. You can take, as you said, take the hook. If I've got UGC or AGC recording it, I'll do a B-roll voiceover and I'll take the script, and you just have to flog it in these different execution styles, right? So like these are like the execution styles: AI ambassador, founder face to camera, B-roll, and voiceover, blah, blah, blah. And then you just rip that same winner again and again, statics, until you can't squeeze any more juice out of it.
Yeah.
For you guys, how do you measure what's a winner? Like, how does your team know that they've found a winning ad?
Yeah. So there's a few key metrics we're going to look at. I mean, there's the leading and the lagging indicators. So leading indicators for us are going to be the obvious of like cost per call. So like, let's say, for example,
Our target is to achieve around a $200 to $250 cost per call. We get an ad that's like 70% of that. Let's say it's 170, 150. And it's had more than like 5-10 results, because that's enough scale to determine if it was
too early and we got lucky, or it genuinely is an outlier. That's the first thing. But that's the first layer. A layer deeper is, well, on a micro level, are those people actually qualified? Because we might get a really low cost per call,
but as a result, we might get donkeys coming through the funnel. So we need to make sure they're actually qualified. And then the lagging indicators,
which usually take 7, 14, 21 days to produce, depending on how much they're spending, is going to be our CAC and the quality of client we sign from that ad. So for us, there's like the
qualitative and the quantitative. I'm looking at both, because I can't measure if an ad is a winner on even like $1,000 a day.
distribute between 10 ads over a 3-day time span. But over a month I can. But what I can do though is I can look at, say there's 20 sales calls in a week, and 10 of those calls came from one specific ad I was running. Let me look at the qualitative. How qualified were they?
How open were they? How warm were they? Did they come on knowing what we did beforehand? What resonated with them in the ad? So these are things I'm also looking at as well.
Yes. And I think that's like, you can hear the difference in our conversation and things to focus on at the different levels, right? You have to like, and I'm sure you see it as well, when I'm coaching people to get to that 50K to 100K, I'm like, congratulations, baby girl, you're a real business owner now. Like, we do no more hustle stuff. We are like, you have to put like data stuff in, like real data feedback loops. Like, you have to start thinking like a real business. Even one of our clients, they were doing like, maybe we're spending like $600K a month, whatever, on ads. And so we were even tracking the lead, yes, the buyer, yes, the CAC, but then the LTV. And like, okay, well, yeah, did we close them easy? But we're like, how long were they staying for?
Yeah, and what's the refund rate on this ad?
Yes,
Like, there's all
were
these
they a
things.
good client as well? And then that's like, there's levels to the game, right? Because that's a real business. Now we're not just like running ads and hustling to get some ceramic coating clients. Now we're thinking like cash flow long term as well. So actually, one last thing. One really funny, lazy thing that we did was on a coaching funnel. We took the best performing ad and we slapped it above the fold, and it exploded on the landing page, and it exploded conversion rates, and it's still just there. We just have the ad above the fold.
Interesting.
Yeah, easy. Test it.
Yeah.
All right, anything else on the ads?
No.
All right, to the page.
Well, he's got a VSL. That's a good sign.
And it looks sexy.
It does
Good
look
job.
sexy, and it looks congruent.
Yes, yes. The branding. See, like the branding is like it's got a feel to it, which
They've got an identity to a degree.
Yes. For roofing and siding companies, get 100 plus qualified appointments in 90 days with outpriced shoppers on a pay-per-close basis.
More specific. Even though it is offer specific, at the same time, this is exactly what the 1 to 10K a month funnel wasn't doing.
Yes.
They weren't being ultra specific with
the outcome, the time frame, and what they won't have to do to get that result.
Yes.
Decreasing the
time, effort, and sacrifices, Homozy would say in the value equation.
Exactly. And I do think in these like roofing markets, you do have to be strong on the offer. What I found is the more they understand marketing, the more that they appreciate the craft of it.
Yeah.
Or the more that they are super passionate about their craft, like a luxury premium home builder or something. Like they want to see you like putting in like the effort a little bit, even if they don't understand it.
Yep.
A roofer is like, bro, can you get me leads or not.
Yeah, that's
like because
literally
like they're a commoditized service, and so they kind of shop you the same way that they get shopped. I've found in these sorts of industries, but I think this funnel's done a really nice job of having the vibe of an authority.
Yes, agreed.
Which is I think the other ones were missing. The only thing, maybe like with the subhead, I would just potentially give a bit more value of what's on the call. Like you could just test that. Like on the call, we're going to show you X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Like, and there you're going to feel like you're going to get something out of it. And then potentially just adding like a watch this video bar or something with little arrows, just something to get them to click on this. Because the branding is beautiful, but some of the colors are getting smushed in together, right? So often you want like the isolation effect on your call to action just so the eye knows where to look to take the action. So potentially on the embedded form, you could just make that yellow accent, like a gold gradient accent, just so people know to do something. And kind of like what you said, putting a headline above the fold.
Yep.
What else?
I think on the funnel, besides that on the thank you page, the good thing that I like to see, which is again just like a level up and what you need at this level, is he's like reinstating the outcome. Watch
these quick videos to see how we generate financially qualified appointments using our authority funnel.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is I don't think he mentioned anything about an authority funnel in the ads or on the landing page, which
he's on the right track with speaking to the outcome on like, hey, these videos directly help you get more information about how we can get you to outcome. So that's the first thing I would say is maybe there's a little bit of incongruency there. And then, of course, just he's got the FAQ breakout videos, which is great. The only thing I would say with that is it's kind of hard to read the titles at the top, especially if they're on a phone on like, how do you ensure appointments are high quality? Are the leads exclusive? We found just in the thumbnail and he can still have his face there.
It's just below his face and below that blue video button. Here's what we're talking about. Right now it just says appointments quality. What if it just said like, how we make sure your leads are financially qualified?
Yeah.
So that, and then just having a pre-call video at the top directing them to watch those videos. What we found is sometimes if you have all these videos there, either they get too overwhelmed and they're like, holy shit, I'm not going to watch any of these. Or they feel like, oh, I need to go in and watch all this. I'm just going to cancel the call. It's too much. I can't be bothered to do this. So that's why I think having the pre-call video at the top is so important. So you can explain to them, look, there's videos below. Watch the ones that are relevant to the questions you may have. Ignore the ones you don't. If you don't have any questions and you want to wait until the call, that's fine too. They're there to save us the time so we can hit the ground running.
Yeah.
So that way there's no misaligned expectations.
Yeah, I think that's really good. And then remembering that there's levels to the game. Now at this point, this guy needs to make sure, yes, we're measuring the show up, but it's like true no-shows, cancellations and reschedules, and clocking the reasons for those, and then looking at these touch points, how we can improve it.
Yeah.
How do we fix that? Really working with the sales team on the feedback. Okay, what questions were we getting? Were they coming educated? Did they understand what we do? Where do we need to fix this? And then this is where we can talk about those pre-call touch points as well. So usually we have the ads, like, because you can pixel them, as you know, and show them the ads. I think these guys are doing it, like these breakdown ads. You have the setter and you have the emails. What else? Is there anything? And like text messages, I guess. Like
I'd say texts, emails, setters going in and calling. You've got the retargeting content.
Yeah. And
that retargeting content, you can go even more advanced than just short form. You can also do long form, retargeting them with long form YouTube videos as well.
And I liked the emails. I liked like I got 2 emails.
Oh, baby, I know where he got this from.
Yeah.
I like to see. My man listens.
This is just another Facebook ad lead gen service. Great, right? An opportunity straight away to like build the difference.
Facing the number one objection he gets.
Yes. Because everyone's too scared, like, or even like when I audit sales calls, too scared to lean in and like just address, like, you know what's on their mind.
Yeah.
Just like you get to control that conversation and lead that conversation instead of leaving them up to that. So do you want to critique your own work? Is this
absolutely
a template?
So what I would say here is the reason that we find this works so well, especially in a market like this, is this is exactly what they're thinking.
Yep.
I always say that with the first email, you send the confirmation. Second email, 5 minutes later, immediately address the number one reason that would prevent them from showing to the call. With these people, they've been burned by Angie's. They work with 5 agencies that promise them pay-per-lead.
Yeah.
They're thinking that exact thing. They're like, is this just the same shit again? And what we find is most people, because their ego makes them believe that they are different, but you ask them, like, what makes you different? I was literally on a call with a guy the other day that was trying to, like, get me to invest in his SaaS, and it just sounded like he was doing AIDM texting, and he wouldn't just tell me that. I was like, so what do you do? He's like, we help people optimize the 80% of waste. I'm like, what does that actually mean?
Yeah.
Like, how are you different? So like, just leaning into that with an offer that is commoditized and explaining how you're different can help with that tremendously. So with that email, like, I mean, I'm biased, but I wouldn't change it.
It's perfect. And then I like the other one, same with what we do.
Recaps all the things.
Yeah, and we're going to call that number, we'll have to blur that out, Alicia's editor, thank you. Let us know if there's a better time to call you. Also as a heads up that if I don't hear back, our system will auto cancel the call. So just respond to this email. That's a much nicer way to say, please confirm and respect my time, instead of like, if you don't confirm, you don't get to talk to me. Like, it's like, see how like same message, like different framing, right?
Yeah. I think the emails are nailed. I wouldn't change it. But I think like he's very, very close to having everything dialed in on the funnel and the nurture sequence here. Yeah.
So then my biggest things would be like, now you're at the point where you need to get smarter with what you test. That's just where it is now. Like, no more like hustling. It's like, okay, these like paying attention to data and having the good data feedback loops is where you start to find like the huge leverage and start to get these really good ideas. This will be in the ads, so like the types of ads you test.
Yeah.
With that, I haven't like looked at it all properly, I guess, and dissected it, but I would just say, can we get more sub niches? Okay, we've got roofers and siding, whatever that was. Okay, but what are the sub niches? You would have 3 or 5 little sub niches, little sub audiences, and then are we targeting different stages of the buyer's journey as well? And then it might be worth running like a video view branding ads and like building up your own warm retargeting, just to be like, oh yeah, I've seen that, I've seen you, and just so you feel everywhere if you really want to dominate this niche. And that would be it if you've already got the warm, the hot nurture when they book a call before they get on the call.
Yeah. And the only other thing I would say to tie this up is he's at the level now where, again, reviewing qualitative data is very, very important.
Yeah.
I can assume at this point he's probably got a setter in, maybe even a closer on the calls at this point as well.
Yeah.
And what tends to happen is, as founders, we get out of the sales piece and we're like, okay, cool, I'm done. And yeah, they might do some reviewing here and there, but what's very important, I still personally do this, is I like to be very involved in analysing data of most common problems, desires, what made them buy. So we have an AI that basically goes through every time somebody buys or submits an onboarding form, and it pulls all the information on what they put on the application form, the sales call, the onboarding form. Why did they buy? What made us different to all the other things that they saw? Because these are things we want to double down on. And the same applies with people that don't close. So we have an AI that analyzes the calls that goes in, and if it finds people that didn't close or didn't like our pitch, whatever it may be, then it will analyze those people and it will send them a text and go, hey, founder here of XYZ company, just curious, I know you spoke with closer and things didn't go as planned. Just curious, like, we're always looking for feedback. What made you not want to move forward? And then we can analyze that and get feedback from the good side and the bad side. So I think at this point, these things are very important.
Yeah, I'll underline that. Splitting out the buy versus didn't buy, because those are going to be two, like, you want to double down on the buy and you want to fix the didn't buy.
Yeah.
Often when I'm looking at calls, one of the biggest thing is presenting price before they're sold. Like trying to like get the one call close and rushing to the price. Like if they're not sold, don't tell them the price.
Yeah.
Just like sit in it, plus many other things. All right, I think we've done it. That's our 3 funnels. What was your most favorite thing out of all of these funnels?
I like to see the last one because he's following the best practices, and it just shows, you know, there's evolutions at every stage, and you know, when you're at 10k a month you can get away with standard slipping, but the thing is those leakages just get bigger the more money you make. A small, you know, 10% change in lead to booking rate when you're getting 100 leads a month might just mean 10 leads not booking, but then if you're getting 1,000 leads a month, that's 100 leads not booking. That's a big crack that just gets bigger and bigger. So it just shows that the lesson is the more money you make, the more you need to focus on the small optimizations, because they can have a huge output in terms of expanding your ROAS and profitability as you scale.
Your problems scale with you, right? Fix them now.
There you go.
All right, that's it. End scene.
Cool. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this, and maybe we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.